Today we are doing our top 50 board games of all time, kind of. A 2022 version.
What do you mean,
games that we're going to play a lot right now.
It is our top 50 board games of all time. That's what we do. We do this every year, Dean, and this is what it is.
It's a struggle because it seems like, for me, it's like, these are the 50 games that I want to play right now. Does that make it my top games of all time? I don't know, man. I don't know how to do that.
You know the title of this is Top 50 Board Games of All Time. You know that, right? You know, every year, that's what we call it.
So is this what we're doing?
And then, I mean, yeah, that's what,
okay.
And then you wrestle with it, and you're like, well, it's the ones I want to play now. And I'm like, well, I mean, then let's change the title.
Have you seen your list? I don't know if these are top 50 quality games.
Ooh.
Burn.
So I make
Sick
a
burn.
little burn, and, you know, that's a problem. You make a burn, and it's a good thing.
You know what I didn't do yet is I didn't start recording this piece. So let me just pull this up so that I've got our list recording on here as well. And then we're just gonna go for it, John. Are you ready for that?
I mean, I said 3, 2, 1, click, so that we would be doing this at the same time.
Yeah.
And you didn't click?
No, I heard what you said.
I mean, what did you do?
I didn't do it, but I'm doing it right now, so that's all that really matters, right?
Why do you have that part up there? We don't need to see that.
We don't. All right, we're figuring this out. MeepleTown. We've never done this before, so
we've only done it every single year at MeepleTown. Alrighty. So do you want me to kick this list?
Yeah, go ahead and keep talking to make sure we're good with our all of our.
Can we stall for just
audio
a second?
thing? Yeah, man. Just
you know
stall.
those like YouTube videos or Facebook videos or whatever where the people just stall forever before they do something, and the whole idea is like everyone wants to see this happen and they never do it.
Oh yeah.
I despise those.
Is that what we're doing right now?
That's exactly right.
But we're ready now.
We're just going to keep going, and then we're never going to give any. We're just going to talk about some games. All right, let's go.
All right, let's do
because
this.
I do despise those. All right,
number 50.
Number 50. Hey, I don't mean to say that.
Can I do that every time?
But I just want to say, do you feel like your list changed? Because I know there were a lot of MeepleTown people who have said, I'm excited to listen or watch to see if the list changed a lot. Do you believe that overall your list changed a decent amount, not a lot? So forth and so on.
I would say somewhat. There are some games in here that kind of surprised me. So I did PubMeeple, pubmeeple.com, I think is the website, something along those lines, to kind of like establish a baseline. And I really stuck to it a lot more this year than I normally do, which meant there were a decent amount of games that kind of surprised me that got booted out, but I couldn't quite justify pulling them back on here. So yeah, I would say I kind of was surprised a little bit.
You know, I realized...
that's not what you asked, but I was surprised at how much
there were some,
some that dropped off. Yeah.
I definitely have some differences in mine, though there's... I don't know. I don't know how many, 30-something probably that are the same, you know, or something like that. So that you're going to see some similarities. You are going to see, even if they are the same, some fluctuation in where they're at on the list, which is kind of fun. You're going to see a new #1 game of all time, which I believe I've had out of 3 years... 1 game 2 years and 1 game 1 year or something like that. So a little bit of change for me.
I feel a little pressure to not have my #1 game be the same, and so maybe mine's changed too.
Maybe, we don't know. I did realize that at the beginning of this video, we've been recording so few videos lately. I wasn't even looking at the camera. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with myself.
That is very true. How about we start this video?
Number 50 is...
Number 50.
Oh gosh. My number 50 is Altiplano. How about that? It's been on my top 50 for a long time. I think most every year, except for maybe my first year. In Altiplano, if you don't know what it is, it's a bag building game, but you have these little like island kind of things that you're going around to, and you're sending your is it called your Traveler, or is that just the Traveler expansion?
No, I think it's your Traveler.
Okay, you're sending them around, and you're building bags, but then selling goods, and, you know, for victory points and, you know, or money or whatever, and then you're, you know, scoring points that way. And there's a bunch of different ways to score. I like it a lot. It's slipped on my list the last several years because I think it slightly overstays its welcome. And I disagreed with Dean about that a year or two ago.
Let's hear it.
I agree with him about that now.
So you would say I was right.
Yes, you're right. It's not enough. It's not to the extreme, probably, that you feel. You know what I mean? Not enough to kick it out, but it barely made the list this year. I still do really enjoy the game. It's fun. So, Altiplano, you like that one.
Yeah, I really like Altiplano.
But you like Orleone better, like most people.
I don't know if that is most people at this point, but yes, I do like Orleans better. I'm interested. I don't remember where they fall on the all-time game list, but we can see Altiplano. What is it at?
Altiplano is, I should make sure that I say all these. 326 overall.
Yeah, 326.
7.5 on BGG is the rating, so pretty high.
So I think Orleans might be a little bit higher than that. But,
it is.
But maybe not significantly. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's probably in the top 100.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'll look it up.
So that is John's number 50, Altiplano. My number 50 is a game that I feel very confident will be on John's list, but I have confidence also that it's not on it today. And that is Dune Imperium. Here's the thing. I actually struggled with this one not being on the list.
Wow.
Because...
so funny.
What my struggle was, I think probably as we move forward, this one's going to be higher on my list, is my guess. Now, I'll explain this why. So Dune Imperium is a worker placement combined with deck building, which is something I'm realizing is one of my favorite things in board games right now. Yeah. I love that combination of building up this deck, but also you have to put your workers out there. The cards, when you play them, have symbols on them which determine which worker placement spots that you can play. I think that's really cool. The resource management piece is really tight in this game. Your special abilities from your character is really cool. The combat is really cool. All of it, and having to make the decisions of, do I want to use this card for its ability whenever you do the end phase, kind of the cleanup phase or whatever, or do I want to use it for its ability right now? I really, really love all those mechanics. Now, here's why this game is a little bit lower. One is I haven't played the expansion, and I've heard you told me that I probably would it'd bump it up for me a lot.
I think so.
But also, I had one play of this year, and it was just so long. It was way too long. It was 3+ hours, if I remember right.
Was that the game with us?
No. 3 to 3.5 hours. Our game was much faster, and that redeemed it for me, because I thought this game is going to fall. This year. No, I played more than that. I'm saying one particular game.
I got you. That just lasted forever. Okay.
It just lasted too long, and it made me not want to play this game as much, and then it redeemed itself by the last time that we played it.
So it was much faster.
I love this game. Probably going to rise higher in the future if I had to guess. That is Dune Imperium.
It's so funny. It may or may not be on my list moving forward. Probably is.
I think it is.
But it's one of those things where when we first played it, didn't you like this one better than I did?
Yes, I did. Yeah. You didn't love this game the first time
I didn't. I gave it like a 7.5 out of 10. Like I was like, yeah, that's fun, that's solid, but it's one of those ones that I think I started catching the depth of strategy a little bit more as I played it and went, okay, there's a little more to this than what I had initially thought. So
yeah.
Anyway, and then on top of that, I started watching. I read the book and stuff. I'd never read it before, so there's no doubt that kind of helps.
Yep.
So. And what is that ranked now, Dean? Go back real quick.
Go back to it's high.
It's very high. So we're going to keep up with trying to let you all know what it's ranked on BGG as well.
Oh man, it's taking a little while. 15 overall.
15 overall. So that's almost like in your face wingspan.
Is it?
Yeah, that game shot up, but not as high as this one.
That is true. Now, a game that this often gets compared with is Lost Ruins of Arnak, which this has beat that in the rankings. I don't know where it's at, but it's higher for sure.
Lost Ruins is fine, but that's far superior IMO.
It is your opinion, because the other one's going to show up on my list.
So before I give you my number 49, I am going to give you a little update. Orleans is ranked 31 overall. So though you were right about
it is significant
about Dune and some of these things, you were dead wrong about that. I thought it was really high, and it was in the top 100. All right. My number 49 is a 2013 game by one of my favorite designing duos.
Yeah.
My favorite designing duo? I'm trying to think of a duo that I prefer. Kiesling Kramer. 682 overall. So, not as high. And this is one that I just played for the first time, what, Dean? 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And
you played it multiple times, though. But
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I borrowed it from him. So we played it, and we just played it once, me and you, though, right? Yeah.
That might be right.
Yeah, but then I borrowed it so I could play with my wife and stuff like that. Dennis Lohausen art, of course. That's Coal Baron. How about that? And so what's so interesting about Coal Baron for me is this is probably one of the lightest games on my list. It's only weighted at 2.5. But it has some really interesting tactical decisions. So you're taking pieces of coal and you're moving them up and down this elevator. Well, first you're having to get the coal. You're getting contracts to fulfill, but you're moving them up and down the elevator. And you know, the amount of movements you get depends on the worker placement spot that you go to. But what's so intriguing about this game is you can go to a spot that Dean's gone to. It's just going to cost you 1 extra. Or you can go to a spot that you've already gone to, but it's going to cost you an extra worker. And you start with, I believe in 2-player game, 18 workers. So you have a ton of them. But it's all about, this is entirely about efficiency, right? How can I more efficiently, you know, fulfill contracts? But on top of that, if you look where the board is where Dean is, there's like this dial, and it's very Kiesling-Kramer, or Michael Kiesling, as you can see in some of his Azul games and stuff, where you're going to score different things, different rounds. And so you could go ahead and know that, you know, whoever has the most, you know, black coal is going to score the most for coal in the first round. There's 3 rounds, and that's 5 points. And that's just straight up, you're getting points for contracts, but also like it's that back and forth. Who gets the most? Who has the most scores 5 points, and whoever has the second most scores X amount of points if you play with more than 2 players. But also by the end of it, whoever has the most coal black carts, I think, because there's like black coal, there's gray coal, there's yellow coal, there's brown coal, and whoever has the most of that scores like 13 points. So like there's that satisfaction now that will score 3 times over the game, right? Or maybe building a little bit for the end game there and trying to figure that out back and forth, back and forth. I think it's just so fun, so tactical, so easy to teach. I can play this with a ton of people, and it's really good. This is an excellent game. And we discovered this when we were talking about this in our podcast, right? That they're doing a reprint of this. Yes. It's a Kickstarter? I can't remember that. Anyway. I don't know if it's Kickstarter or not, but this one's been kind of hard to find lately. It is. It's one of those games that was easy to find for such a long time, and I kept passing on it. And then finally play it and go, oh my gosh, I have to have this game. And it's so hard to find and so expensive. Like, even though it's top 49, I can't remember what it was. There's a couple of games that have been really expensive, but I'm not dropping $200 on this game. Like, Is it, or you know, even 150 probably on it. So, but when they said that they're coming out with this new one, I'm super excited. I can't wait. I think it's going to do really well. Yeah, I really do. I think that this is a really good game, and people, Kiesling-Kramer, they continue to grow in popularity, I believe. And this is just such a good one. So yeah, that's my number 49. I would agree. Design pedigree is like through the roof. I mean, I love this team, and Coal Baron is an excellent game. It's not going to make my list, but it would have. I don't know, somewhere. It's an excellent game. It doesn't have to make my list to be an excellent game. So love it. And that is 682 overall. All right, my number 49 is a lighter game, Quacks of Quedlinburg. Interesting. I don't think you're talking about this that much, but big family game? Yeah, but even, it is. I mean, we play this, my wife and I play this one quite a bit and introduce it to a lot of people, but yeah, I just love this with adults too, not necessarily family, but it's 60 overall. This is a bag building game. Just talked about Altiplano, but this one is also a push your luck, which I really like. So this is a game that you know that I'm not going to win very often because I love to push my luck. You're going to be drawing these different pieces out of your bag and putting them around your cauldron, and you don't want them to explode. You don't want to pull too many cherry bombs because if you do, it explodes, and you can only then do the buy or take the points from how far you made it around that little ring that's around there. You don't want to drop too many cherry bombs in the pot because there could be an explosion. Cherry bomb. You know that one? Save tonight. All right. About the break of dawn. I mean, if you want to go, we're gonna go. So that is what this game is, and you are. Here's one issue that we have seen in the game at times, and that is this. It's kind of difficult to catch up. You do have a catch up. I'm sorry. It might be a little too easy sometimes to catch up with the catch-up mechanism that you have. You can have a huge lead in this game and still lose because of the catch-up mechanism. I think, if I remember right, my wife doesn't love that piece, especially in a bigger group setting of having the catch-up mechanism. But I don't mind it as much. I kind of like, because it's a lighter game, I kind of like having it so you're not just blowing somebody out of the water. You can actually... You have a chance even at the end of the game if you're pretty far behind. So it's a fun game. It's a fun family game in my opinion, and I mean not just family game. Like if you just want to have kind of hoot and holler as we call it in Tennessee, hoot and holler game, laugh it up. 60 overall is stunning to me. I like Quacks of Quedlinburg. I own it.
This one appeals to a lot of people for sure.
Yeah.
And this was the Spiel des Jahres winner, is that right?
I don't
know. Kenner Spiel des Jahres winner is what that was in 2018.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep. Big hit for us and the people that we've introduced it to. So that is my number 49.
All right. My number 48 is ranked 1,187 overall, is 6.9 rated on BGG, and that is done by one of dare I say, my favorite designer, Stefan Feld. It's Rialto. A game that I think kind of flies under the radar when it comes to Stefan Feld's games, because he's got a lot of good ones, but this is another one of those lighter games, and so I don't know why, but on my list at the beginning right now, we're kind of doing some lighter games. But what's so interesting is that it's really the card play. And have you played this one? Did you play this?
You and I have played it, but I've only played it at 2.
Okay. Yeah. You should have played it. You didn't play it when Jonathan and we were at you didn't go to the conference on that day or something.
Yeah, okay. I did not. But maybe 3 players I played this at. I can't remember. But
well, it's intriguing because you have this several options for, you have columns of 6 cards, and you're going to pick one of those, which is going to really tell you kind of how powerful your actions are going to be. And so you're going to go around the table, and someone's going to go, I'm playing 3 coin cards, and you're getting coins. But the real trick to that game is whoever plays the most gets a bonus. And so you're trying to not only get coins to do things or people to go put out, because there's area control and there's a lot of different things. And you're not only trying to do that, but you're also trying to win, these different sets of things, which it is more interesting at a higher player count, by the way. Mm-hmm. And so like it's just fun to try to guess, like, oh, I wonder how many she's going to play. See if I can, have the most here. And it just has this cool area control element. There's a little bit of engine building that goes along with the buildings, that you can build, that you can get. And I just think this is a really fun game. And every time I show it, like when I showed it to I don't think Jonathan or Wendy or any of them had played this. I could be wrong. Maybe Wendy has. They just were like, that's really good. I'm not saying that's going to blow people's minds, but like, I feel like every time I play this with a group of people new, they're like, that was fun. And so there you go.
Yep.
Rialto.
This is a fun game. I'm just thinking right now, I have less Felt games on my list than I ever have before.
That's a mistake.
Well, I've got a bazillion of them in my top 100, I feel like.
Got you.
That math doesn't add up, right? But I do have a lot. But I like this game. It's fun. Not top 50 or even 100, or maybe even 200 material, but it's a good game.
That's like it's a little passive aggression right there.
We played a lot of games.
Even 500. I mean, it's one of the worst games I've ever played.
No, it is not. It is a good game, but not my favorite of his, for sure.
Number 48, Rialto.
My number 48 is a game that I'm guessing is on John's
list. It should be higher.
This, at one time, I think, was on your...
It was my number 1 game.
Number 1. Okay, I thought so. Yeah. Concordia. That is a Matt Gertz game. This one is 21 rank overall. I'm going to go out on a limb and say if we took the average of our games of this week, my average is going to be much higher as opposed to yours, which, like, your ranking, BGG ranking.
100% that's happening, because, I mean...
You're at 1,000, and I've just got 2 in the top.
I've been 326, 682, and 1,100 and something, so... Yeah, 100%, yes.
I'm following the crowd.
And my next one is going to be over 1,000 as well.
I think I'm at 50, 60, and 21 so far, so yes.
So hidden gems.
You win. Concordia is a game that came out in 2013, and in this game you are going to be going around the map, you're going to be setting up buildings and traveling around the map and getting resources to do those things, and also, getting coins, but ultimately it's part of it is a deck building game where you are building up your deck, and the actions that you take are based on those cards that you have in your hand, but also those cards are going to be giving you the points at the end of the game. And so you play a card, and it lets you do the action, but at the end of the game, you add up all those cards, and you're trying to match different things on those cards. So it might say if you have, you get points for however many of the anvil, or I don't know what they're called, but those anvil-type buildings or whatever. And so you want to get as many of those as you can. And that's the part that is interesting. Yeah. I will say that's not even my favorite part of the game, is that deck building piece. I just like going around on the map. The card play, I do think is interesting, but the in-game scoring is not my favorite piece of the game, but I still think that part's
it's great.
It's interesting. Yeah, no, it is. It's really good. It's just not my favorite. I think the playing the cards for the actions and then the timing of when you get to take your cards back into your hand and get money that way. Resources are really tight in this game. There's a lot of really cool things about this game. It's often called the game that is an elegant design, and I would agree with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna just hold my comments because I'm not gonna hold these cards close to my chest. This is absolutely on my list, way higher up.
There you go.
So
that is Concordia, my number 48.
So I'm gonna kind of keep with the same theme that I've been on, and that is number 1, a new game to my list. So I've had out of 4, 2 that are new games to my top 50. That's not bad.
Okay.
On top of that, it is the same theme in the sense of it's ranked 1,121 overall. So that's you know what you're getting with Johnny.
What did you just say?
You're getting some gems. You're getting some hidden treasures.
It is. It's almost as if you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
For that.
This is a Simone Luciani, Daniele Tassini game, which are 2 of my favorite designers. I mean, up there. Like they would be top 10 designers, I believe, for me. At least Luciani would be. But I do really like Daniele Tassini. That is a 2015 game that I think is overlooked, and that is Council of 4. Not only is this, Dean, along the theme of ranking stuff, this is weighted at 2.5. So in my top 50, at the bottom of this list is a bunch of kind of lighter games that I really enjoy. And this one, you have not played this, Dean?
No, I think I would really like
this game, man. No, I think that you would go, this is fantastic. This should have been one that we played. Because I think you brought this up, I promise you, I really think you would like this. So I brought this out at Tennessee Game Days this year, and Wendy and Jonathan and maybe it was just us 3 that played, and they both really liked it. In fact, Wendy immediately bought it. Somebody had it for sale, I think, at Tennessee Game Days. So she liked it so much, she was like, boom, I'm buying it. But in this game, you have this hand of cards, and you're using the cards to put people out, like on the map. And the funny thing is you're influencing the council, I think. Every area of the board has different color council members. Like could be blue, gray, and this picture, blue, gray, green, purple. And you need to play a blue, gray, green, purple. That's kind of a tongue twister. To be able to put like people out on the map and different things like that. But you could also influence them by knocking one of them out and putting whatever color you want in there. So it's not all just like a luck of the draw. Though, admittedly, you could probably get lucky in this game and really draw the cards, you know, that are just nailing it. But I think over the course of the game, it balances out pretty well. But what's so interesting about the pool is you're going to be putting people out onto the map. And what you'll do at that point is you'll set off everyone that's adjacent in a chain. So at first you like put a person out and you get the bonus for that area. Then the next one you put out, if they're next to it, boom, bonus, bonus. By the end of the game, you're going, I get 3 coins and 2 of these dudes and 4 coins and this, blah, blah, blah. And you're just going and your chain feels so satisfying. But it's also, I feel like a very pretty quick paced game. And it's a quick paced game and the turns are pretty quick. Even when the chains go crazy, it's just like, okay, this. Okay, I got my stuff, I'm done. Mm-hmm. And there's a little bit more to it, but I just think that it's just a fun game that's easy to teach, that feels so satisfying when you hit all these chains and all that kind of stuff. But then, and additionally, you score points like if you're the first person to go to every city on one section of the map, or the first to score maybe even more points if you're the one that gets everyone that's a certain color, what's spread out all over the map. So there's all these like pools of, should I get this done first? Or should I just try to get all the purples done first? You know, or whatever it may be. And it's, I don't know if purple's one of them, I can't remember. But anyways, great time. Love that game.
It's got miniatures too, so.
I know, and it's one of those ones that you can get so cheap oftentimes. And like, it's just like, that was what got me over, like I kept thinking, why am I not going to like a Daniele Tassini Simone Luciani game? Like I just thought, and it was like $30 at some point or 25 or something. I'm like, this is dumb, I'm buying it. And I was blown away by how much I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, this has been on my list of wanting to play. You're right. We should have played this with all those other games that we played. Okay.
That's my number 47, Council of 4.
My number 47 is a kind of a hoot and holler game. This is Sheriff of Nottingham.
Sheriff of Nottingham.
Ranked 425 overall, so I'm outside of the 100 right now. This one has been on my list probably every year if I had to guess, but in this game you are you're taking goods into Nottingham, and the sheriff is going to stop you and decide whether or not they trust you are bringing in what you actually said you're going to bring in. So I might say, I'm bringing in 4 bushels of apple. And if you're the sheriff, you're like, nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm going to check your bag. And if I'm right, then I'm going to have to, whoops, here we go. There's not a lot of good shots in here. All right, so if I'm correct, then you're going to have to pay me because you're wasting my time, John.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay me some money. If I'm wrong, I'm going to have to pay you some money because I was trying to smuggle those goods in, and the goods that I was trying to smuggle in, I don't get to take those in. Now, the ones that I claimed, the ones that were actually apples, I will get to take those in.
Yeah.
So it is a bluffing game. It's a party game. It's a lot of really, really fun nonsense. You're just adding up the points at the end of the game, coins at the end of the game, and then you, then you win. Now, I have the older version of not the old version of this one, but I have the, who did this one? I can't remember now. Arcane Wonders, this version. I have this version of it. I like this version better, the look of it better with the expansion. You don't need the expansion, it just adds more, an extra player on it. But I love this game. I don't get to play it enough because the people that I really play a lot of games with, the groups, don't necessarily love this style of game. So, and it takes bluffing games are not for everybody, but I love it.
There it is.
Sheriff of Nottingham.
That's your number 47?
47.
Okay, I bought that game and played it once and sold it. So there you go. How about that? I thought it was kind of fun, but my wife hated it, and my youngest son loved it. And I'm just like, oh, we're never gonna play this game. But it was fine. Yeah, I think with the right group of people, it'd be really fun.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, my number 46 is ranked 234 overall. Is that surprising? Wait, hold up. That's because the Essential Edition is ranked 29 overall. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say that's kind of weird. Okay, so you probably know what this is right now if you play this game. Number 29 overall is Viticulture, Essential Edition. So this will be interesting. So this is like the game when I got into board gaming, like really heavy into games. Like I played it and just loved it.
Yeah.
And a worker placement, this came out in 2015. It was one of the first, kind of worker placement games I played, and I immediately fell in love with worker placement games because of this game. And in this game, you have your own vineyard, you're planting vines, you're growing grapes, and you're selling them as wine, right? And you have all these different worker placement spots to go to harvest your grapes and so forth and so on. And it just is a game that I can pull out with anyone. I brought it up with Ryan, who I talked about earlier, who hasn't played a ton of games, but he's smart. And Justin, our buddy Justin.
It's funny to justify that. He's saying, smart. Like, he's not a moron.
I just say he picks up games pretty quick. Like, there's certain, and he asks a lot of questions because he's highly competitive and he wants to win. And he did. He won. Like, I played this game so many times and he'd never played it before. But I do have to admit, do you do this? Just question. If you're playing with people that haven't played much, do you take your foot off the gas a little?
I would say yes.
I do.
Probably I do. I would say I do because I want people to enjoy it and have a good time.
I do.
And
I don't crunch as much for that on purpose for that reason.
I also coach.
Yes,
people,
I do.
But I don't
too much.
I try not to do it too much, and maybe I do. I don't know, but and sometimes I do. I guess.
I hope I don't.
I want people to have a good experience more than I want to win.
Bingo. We're the same when it comes to that. So that kind of happens. But so speaking of, they came out with the cooperative Viticulture World.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Really good. Yeah, I mean, Dean was just like, this is really good, John. We got to play it. And I wasn't super excited about it, but I wanted to try it, and it was better than I expected.
Yep.
Really cool, like, technology tiles where you can upgrade the spots and stuff like that, and it's really well done. I wanted to buy it, but my wife didn't like it because she doesn't like cooperative games.
That's a shame.
She doesn't like cooperative games because she feels pressure to perform. And she feels like she's disappointing you if she makes wrong mistakes. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not, yeah, she could get over that. She would like those types of games. But, if she makes a move and I go, she's like, what? And I'm like, sorry, I should never have said that.
I just recognize that I disappoint people all the time.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm all right with that.
I'm going to look this up, the new Viticulture, see what it's rated, if it's like shooting up or not,
The world, you mean?
Yeah, the cooperative expansion. I'm just curious. It probably doesn't have that many. Oh, it doesn't even.
Well, it doesn't do the rankings, but it does 7.9.
Oh, it's only got 315, yeah.
Versus the 8.0 that Viticulture is, the Essentials Edition. So.
Yeah, it's if you like Viticulture and you're interested in cooperative, you need to go buy that.
Yeah.
It's sold out everywhere, I think. But,
is that right? Okay.
I think so. So anyways, Viticulture is just a classic. Hard to take that off my list. Speaking of classic, well...
46?
Speaking of sort of classics. Yes, 46 Viticulture.
All right, so my 46 is a pretty popular game as well. It's Caylus. I put Caylus 1303. I had played the original a long time ago, so I don't remember much of the comparison anyway. But I really love Caylus 1303. This is another game that it is not for everybody. This is a worker placement game where you're putting...
916 overall. Sorry,
oh, yeah, sorry. No, thank you. And if you want to go ahead and look up the original one, because I bet it's much higher.
Yep.
But Caylus 1303, the one we're talking about, is a worker placement game. You're putting your workers out there, and then you're going to be activating them. But is the horse rider, what is his name? What's he called?
Provost.
The Provost. I knew it started with a P. The Provost is going to be moving back and forth, and if he moves back behind your spaces, you don't get to take those actions, which means this game can get pretty mean, right?
Yeah.
If I'm a huge jerk, or if I'm just trying to play competitively, you don't have to be a jerk. I might take out all of the spots that I can that will help somebody else.
Yeah.
So you are going to be building buildings with the resources that you're getting. You're going to be obviously gaining points, that sort of thing. And I just really like this game. I like the character abilities that you can get, and you can have multiple abilities.
Yep.
And you can take abilities from other people, which can be another mean thing about this game, but I just like it. But you can't play with everybody because some people might get their feelings hurt.
True. So here's the thing. I think that we need to do a showdown between this and the original. I would personally love to try that.
Okay.
So
Are they that different that you would need it? Like, could you play the original version with the new version?
No, there are some differences, and I think it would be worth talking about. I really do.
Okay.
Because like your experience with the old one was not that great, right? Like you were
no,
like,
it's not
fine.
that it wasn't great, but I had only played if I remember right, the video version,
okay.
Like the video game version.
The video version? What is that? Like you put a VHS tape? It says, put in tape 2 if you make this move. But you really love this version, and I've got the original, so I got the Ugly Man version. That's something we should do at some point in time.
If I remember right, I think you like the older version
I like
better.
the older version better, I think. But like, I would like to go back and play that, because it's been a couple years, so that's why I said that. Just maybe selfish. It's a cute little meeple on the finger there.
It is. I don't quite get that, but that is Caylus 1303, my number 46.
My number 45, the original Caylus is 89 overall. So
yeah, okay. I thought that would be pretty high.
Yeah. My number 45 is 40 overall, so now we're starting to cook, because we had 20-something overall and now 40 overall, and I'm going to guess that this is very high on Dean's list.
My blood is boiling that it's not higher on your list.
Blood Rage. There it is. So, Blood Rage is a game that just sucks you in, right? And so you're going to have all this area control and slaughter maybe and fighting for these, provinces and trying to fulfill quests, but all of that hinges around a drafting at the beginning of the round, which is always fun. And drafting cards to really help yourself out, probably hate drafting a little bit, like especially if someone's kind of running away with it and you kind of see their strategy. Yeah. Oh man, is that your painted minis?
No, it's not. I'm gonna put up some painted minis because I think that is you gotta have painted minis in this game.
Dean wants to talk. Yeah, he always wants to show that. This is my favorite Eric Lane game, I would say, and I think a lot of it has to do with it's one that my buds just love, and like it is the #1 game whenever like, and I'm talking about my friends that aren't like heavy gamers. You know what I mean? Like just but do play games. They just, every time we get together or something, there's no one ever saying boo to Let's Play. If it's, you guys want to play Blood Rage? Yes. Like, unanimous yes. We hoot and holler, we laugh. Someone gets their feelings hurt every time.
Yeah.
Someone's complaining about something, and it's fun.
Somebody just texted me about this yesterday. I really want to play Blood Rage.
Who?
That was it. It was one of my former students that... I played several games with him, and we never had a big enough group. Usually it's just 3 of us, and I was like, I'd rather have a 4 or 5 player game myself.
I want to play that right now.
I do too. See? Bump it up on your list.
That's cool.
Maybe we should play that tomorrow
45
night.
of all time out of all the games that we play is. You know, my Yeah, we didn't say that. If you see this, you won't see this.
I was gonna put it at the beginning.
The podcast. Yeah, we're doing a MeepleTown game night in Nashville. Sean's coming, and I bet he would. Sean Clark's coming. I bet he would really like Blood Rage.
Maybe we should play some Blood Rage.
Shout out to Sean. I know he's listening.
People have high expectations that I'll be amazing at this game. You know what I'm not amazing at? This game.
You're not bad at it.
I don't usually win this game.
Jonathan always wins.
He always wins everything.
I hate that he wins this one. I mean, like he wins this one every time. Okay.
Blood Rage, you're number 45 or something.
That's right.
You want to double check us on that one?
This video. I think this is going to be more.
We got it. My number 45 is Viticulture. So I don't have to talk about this whole lot. I pulled up the.
All right, my number 44 is.
I pulled up the initial Viticulture. Now, if you're like glued to my list and you have every game memorized from all the past years of my list, you might know that Viticulture has not made my list in a couple years.
You said it wasn't going to make it this year.
Yep.
You pulled an audible this morning, didn't you?
No. So I accidentally, when I was doing the Pub Meeple, somehow I eliminated Viticulture from that list.
I've done that before.
And so it didn't pop up. Now, Viticulture would not normally pop up. Viticulture World really bumped this game up for me.
You were loving it.
Love that expansion. I think it is so cool. Enough that I actually ordered the Maracaibo expansion because it's also a cooperative expansion to a game that is not normally cooperative. I'm really digging this. And the thing I like is John talked about the worker placement spots that get better if you build up, like if you put those tiles out in those spots, it makes them better. But I also love the scenarios. So there's different scenarios. You're going around to these different continents and you are trying to be the best in, like as a team, you're trying to be the best on that continent. But each one you go to is going to give you different abilities. It's going to change up the rules too. I just love that. There's a ton of replayability in that box. Love the expansion. I already really love the game anyway, but I think the expansion really pushed it up on the list for me. Viticulture, my number 45.
Larissa and I played one of the easy continents and got just waxed. Like, it wasn't that close.
Yeah, this game is not easy for me. I'm not very good at this one either.
No.
Anyway.
Number 45, Viticulture. All right, so number 44 for me, I think is a game that people who follow us might be surprised. Would you say that might be on my list? You think it's 658 overall. It's a Martin Wallace game. AuZtralia. Dean and I played this again, last week. I was right. Dean, I haven't played this in a while. I'm really jonesing to play this game. And I just love it. Like, it is this perfect mix to me, and that's why I put it in front of Blood Rage, even though Blood Rage actually has, it's like this perfect mix of theme and Euro goodness. Because you're doing like the Euro thing where you're putting, some cubes onto actions and you're performing those actions and you're doing things like I'm building rails and tracks, also building up an army and, going and mining for resources. It feels very kind of Euro-y there, moving on hexes, on a map. But then you have these battles with, what are they called? The
ancient ones?
The old ones. Yeah, the old ones. Yeah. With the old ones, and it's based on how you build up your army, but what's cool is like, I'm not chucking dice, I'm flipping over cards. And so that kind of balances out. Like, if you were really good at paying attention, you could be like, okay, and I do some of this, but not as much. I mean, there's been a lot flipped over for this. So, I bet there's a chance that I'm not going to do so well with that type of a unit at this moment in time or whatever. And so it's just fun to go out there, and it's semi-co-op because if, one of the ports that you start with gets destroyed, then everyone, loses the game. And if at the end of the game, the board actually scores points, the old ones score points. So if you don't kill like Cthulhu and some of these things that have a lot of points on them, you're going to lose to the board. And so Dean's playing the game.
Which almost happened to us really early.
Dean almost lost it for us, and yet it kept complaining about they're attacking me, and I'm like, yes, but that's good because no one's attacking me and I'm not scoring points. And he kicked my butt at this game. I mean, it was a daddy spanking, and it was just a hoot. Did you have a good time? I had a great time playing this with you the other day. And I would play it right now again if you were like, let's play AuZtralia. So much to where I was like, I need to get some of those expansions. And there's a new one, Tasmania, I think, that's 1 to 2 player expansion, which would be great for us.
Yeah. Yep.
So fun.
Totally agree with that. This is a really fun game.
Great theme.
The combat system is excellent.
Alternate history 1930.
Yeah, all of that. Having a really, really thematic, and this is super thematic Euro goodness. It did not make my list. I don't even know. It would maybe be in my top 100, and that's not because I don't like it. I really like this game a lot. It's just kind of fits in a little bit of a weird spot. But yeah, it's...
Maybe that's why. Maybe it's weird for some people, but it's good for Daddy.
Yep. Well, I don't know how to respond to that, but
Number 44, AuZtralia.
All right, my number 44 is a super thematic game, Zombicide.
Keeping the theme rolling.
Specifically, I'll say Black Plague, Green Horror.
Wow, I thought this would be higher for you.
Any of those. Top 50 is really good. The problem is, this is another one. Steven, I talked about Steven, our buddy Steven. He and I really like to play this game. It's just been a while. We've been wanting to get it to the table recently. Maybe once we get through our Pandemic Legacy campaign at some point. But anyway, Zombicide Black Plague is a dice chucker. You're going around the board and you are collecting weapons that you find. You're going to search for different weapons. It does not come with the walls. If you're watching the video right now, it's got this super deluxe.
You like that, huh?
Like,
do you have
version
that?
of this game. No, I do have a lot of
like that or
painted minis. Yeah, I think so, but it also could get in the way. Man, there's hard to find any pictures of like...
It's because all they want to do is... It's people like you, Dean, where they just want to see the minis. That's all they care about. Everyone wants to brag on their minis.
You think so?
Look at my mini.
Well, this is not helpful. Okay.
That's cool, minis.
It's impossible to find a picture of this game. All right. You're going around the board. You've got objectives that you need to complete, and you'll search in different rooms to try to upgrade your weapons and armor and all of that good stuff. And it's just fun. It's just a really, really fun time. I like all the different versions that I've played of this game. And there's a bunch. There's a Western theme. There's a space theme. There's Marvel zombies that's coming out. There's, I mean, you name it, and it is out there. This is a fantastic game for me. Again, if you don't like dice chucking, like Amerithrashy, super thematic games, this is not for you. It's not a super strategic game at all. It's just fun.
This is like the, if you listen to the podcast earlier, this is like the MCU of board games.
Yeah.
Just kind of like fun, whatever. I'm saying this as someone who's never played the game. But Dean has explained it to me quite a bit. Like,
I'd like for you to play this. You might.
I would like to play it actually. Yeah.
If you know what you're getting into and you're like, okay, it is what it is. It's a really fun game.
There you go.
Zombicide Black Plague, which is I'll go ahead and pull that up.
You're number 44, and overall it's pretty high. Isn't
207.
207.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zombicide might be higher. I don't know.
All right, my number 43 is Roll for the Galaxy. I just jumped right in there, huh? Thomas Lehman game. Speaking of dice chuckers, since you said that earlier, I should have used that as the segue. In this game, it's a fast-paced game that you can play in, what, like 20, 30 minutes, Dean? Where you're building the galaxy out, but you're doing that by chucking dice and lining dice up to perform actions and different powers of those actions. But there's ways to manipulate the dice, is what I like about it. Like, I'm not a big just dice chucker roller person, but whenever you can manipulate them, there is kind of that fun of, okay, I've got this, and then like, what can I make these do? You know, whenever you roll that out, and as you begin to build out your galaxy, you know, you're getting, you know, more points for doing certain things with certain dice, and blah blah blah. It's just a fun one, man.
Yep, totally agree with this. You might see this one a little bit higher on my list.
This was one that we did not play at building up to this, that I'm kind of disappointed in. We tried to, but we just didn't get a chance to.
Funny enough, I've been playing Jump Drive lately on Board Game Arena.
You like it?
I do. It is not a killer of any of those games for me, but I think it's fun. I don't know if it's needed, though, is the problem. No, is it Jump Drive? No, that's not right. What's the other one?
My City?
No.
I think it's Jump Drive.
It's in this realm. Maybe it is. Maybe it is Jump Drive.
That's what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, here's the funny thing about this, Dean, is that I really wanted to play this because I brought out Race for the Galaxy a couple months ago and hadn't played it in a while and loved it. So I'm a little worried that maybe, for years I've said Roll is better. Maybe Race would beat it, Dean, but I had to play this. I haven't played this.
Sorry, not Jump Drive. Jump Drive is in this realm too. It's New Frontiers that I've been playing lately. Sorry. Okay. Which somebody in my group, at MeepleTown, so MeepleTown has a board game arena group, and somebody in that group was saying that this was like a Puerto Rico killer. It is not a killer of either one of these games, but I think it's fun. I think it's really fun.
Cool. Yep. 43, Roll for the Galaxy.
Yep. Roll for the Galaxy. My number 43 is another dice chucker.
The same exact game.
Project Elite. Is this the same game as Zombicide?
Yep, it's the same game. You're just doing it a little bit differently.
It is not. This is a real-time game where you
It's similar except for it's real-time.
It does have some similarities, for sure. You're searching for weapons and things like that. People like to paint up the miniatures. I've actually been painting through this recently. And, oh man, here we go again. It's going to be hard to find any gameplay shots without any... There we go. Nope, that's not it. That's got like a Snorlax sitting on the board. Oh my goodness. Snorlax. Okay. You've got zombies that are coming out, not zombies, you've got aliens that are coming out and they are trying to get to your base. You're trying to push them back by also completing these different objectives. So you've got these little square pieces around the board and you are locking dice into those squares so that you can complete the objectives, whatever they are. It might be like you're trying to get a sample, you're trying to destroy the nest or whatever that is. And you've got boss characters that will come out as well that are more difficult, but it really is, like John said, it is kind of Zombicide, real-time Zombicide is kind of what it feels like, even though it's alien theme. Really love this game a lot. That is Project Elite.
There it is, number 43. All right, so my number 42 is ranked 200 overall, and this is by a man they call Ode.
Project Elite is 786 overall. Okay,
so not bad.
Go ahead, Granja.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for spilling the beans.
I pulled it up on the screen and it just instinctively came out.
Speaking of Stefan Feld, La Granja has a lot of people have said that it has those Feld feels. Michael Keller also designed this. But in this game, you have cards, and the card play, I think, is probably the most interesting piece because there's so many different things that you can do with these cards that you're getting. You can put them out into a field to give you a place to where you can, get resources or whatever. You can use them for, and you can use them for one of these things. Use them for the text that's on the card. That could be a really super special, powerful ability. Or you could use it as like a cart to put your goods into and ship them off to market. And it just has all these really cool Euro-y fun mechanics. Even in the middle, you have this kind of kick thing out, just like Luna, which is a good game. And it all comes together to be a really fun game. Dice drafting, which I really like dice drafting. And Dean, you like this one, right?
I like it quite a bit.
You just haven't. It's probably not made your list because you haven't played it in a while. But I remember when we played it, you were like, "Oh, this is really good, John."
Yep. Here's the thing, though.
I just want him to give me some affirmation. Yeah.
Okay. We played this during COVID on BGA several times. And so I actually have not played the physical version of this game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, this is one I think, and I really considered backing this one too, and I'm maybe kicking myself that
I didn't back the new one, but I probably should have.
I think I probably should have too.
Should have backed that thing up.
I think this is one that probably I would really enjoy if I played the physical version of it. Yeah. It is my guess. So I think you're right. It could make my list at some point, but it's not there. Yeah,
and this is one that has been on my list for several years as well. So I've kind of been on a thing where I think AuZtralia, Roll for the Galaxy, and La Granja, and Blood Rage, I think the last 4 have been on my list. But my next one will be new to the list. But let's... do
you want to skip me?
No.
Okay.
I just want a little suspense. Just want to string it out.
Mine is not new to my list.
No.
This is Survive Escape from Atlantis. It's been on my list, I'm pretty sure, every year, if I had to guess. This is 302 overall, and in this game, I've got a lot of thematic games on here, don't I?
Yeah.
None of that's a surprise.
I haven't played Survive in a really long time. I sold that.
I didn't play it this year. I usually play this on my Mancation getaway trip. We usually play this several times. I don't think we got it to the table this year. Survive, you are on this island, you're trying to get off the island.
Sinking.
You have your different meeples that have different values, which thematically is in poor taste, right? Valuing other people above others.
There are people in life that are just more valuable than others.
My goodness. Would you say you're a 6 or a 1 value person?
It depends on who you ask.
So the more...
Probably expendable for most people.
The more valuable people you get to the other side, whoever has the most points is going to be the winner. But basically, it's pretty cool. So especially the boat piece, when you get your people out on the boats, it's the fastest way to move across, unless you have fast swimmers. And whoever has people on the boat can control, whoever has the majority of people can control the boat and where it's going to move, which means you might just sink a boat
On purpose.
On purpose, potentially. Or have it knock overboard if you have a card where you have a swimmer and just say, forget these other people, but you're going to be centered around whales to knock over boats and sea monsters to eat people and boats and sharks to eat people that are swimming in the water. This is a really fun, thematic game. Great game to introduce to new people if they are really okay with this kind of player interaction.
I think like a while ago, Steven was one who introduced me to this game, and like we just hooted and hollered, and I went and bought it almost immediately.
Yeah.
So I just haven't had a reason to get to the table much, and so I ended up selling it, but I still like it.
Super fun game. You know, actually, this would be a really good one to bring back a super deluxeified version of this, because it's already a pretty deluxe game. But I think you could really add some things in here. You could add new tiles. I think this would be, and you already have expansions if you just put all of that in a deluxe version of the box. Somebody needs to do that. I'd buy it.
We have so much sway.
I will do a video for you.
World. Someone's going to really listen to this and do it.
That survived my number 42. All right.
We only have one more left, right?
Go for it.
My number 41 is new to my list, and that is Suburbia. And I know Dean is like really happy about this.
I am, even though I don't think it's on my list. But
are you serious?
It's in my 50s.
I thought it was
like
pretty high for you.
At one time, yeah.
And okay,
I just don't play it enough, and if it's out of sight, it's out of mind for me. So that's kind of where I'm at with my list.
I feel like there's a caveat I'm going to give with this as I talk about this game, but it's a Ted Allspot game. It's ranked 177 overall, 7.5 on BGG. It is a game that you're just basically taking tiles and you're doing what the tiles say. You know, like you're increasing your population and you're increasing your reputation in this game, and whoever has the highest population, right? Yes, population is going to win it. But depending on where you place the hexes, obviously, like putting things next to things, you don't want to have, you know, I think schools next to like heavy machinery, you know, areas and stuff like that. And so like factories and different things. And so like you have to really think about not only what tile are you pulling, because when you pull a tile from the row, you have to pay based on how far to the right or left it is. So do I really want to spend 20 bucks to jump all the way over here? But that tile is perfect for my city right now. You're paying attention to other people's cities as well, because like it actually might affect like what's going on. Maybe like most airports in the whole Suburbia or whatever. And so like if they have something that can actually benefit you, and it's just such a cool balance. I like the simplicity of the game, that it's pretty easy to teach to just about anyone, 2.77, but the balance of population and reputation or whatever, you know, like you're trying to figure out how to, you know, have the right amount of income, versus population. So you're trying to get the right amount of income, that's going down over time as you're scoring more quote unquote points by increasing population. So you can't, you know, just go all out and increase your population super fast, or you're going to end up having no income to buy any tiles. And it just feels, the whole game just feels like a tightrope kind of trying to balance out how do I increase this population but keep my money coming in and stuff like that. I love it. Now, caveat, there are two tiles in this game. That one is PR firm and the other is casino. And I think they are OP so much, if depending on when they come out, so you can argue with me if you want, depending on when they come out, they're so OP that it ruins the game, and I've tossed those out. I hate to say this, I usually just kind of rate games based on the way they are, but I just love it so much that I have to look past that. Really wish, and again, maybe I'm wrong, really wish they would have, in this big deluxeified version, did something with those two. They're not always OP, but when they come out early enough, it's just impossible, I think, to beat some people who get that tile. Those tiles.
Yeah, I don't take them out, but I'm with you. I get that. I totally get that. But
here's the deal. The last day I played that game, the last time I played that game, it was like my wife beat me so bad. She even said, "Yeah, that was just." The PR firm came out super early. She jumped and spent a bunch of money and got it. And she was just like, she actually wasn't excited about that, I don't think. She was like, yeah, we need to kick that tile out because that just lost all the fun in the game.
Yeah, no, it is super expensive and you have to plan for it for sure. And but it almost is like everybody plans for it, and then
whoever gets it wins.
Whoever gets it is
depending on when it comes
shape.
out. Again, if it comes out later in the game, it's not as powerful. But if it's like one of the first C tiles that flips over and basically allows you to cross lines without losing any of your population engine, then like it's just like there's no way. Like I looked back and I'm like, she crossed 30 lines of income.
Yeah.
Like that's not just points. Like and so it's just like there's no way I could have beaten that. I don't think. Like it really sours the game, but everything else is so good. I got it on here, man. I really like Suburbia.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is a fantastic game. Love this one. Are you going to see it on my list? Who knows? Who knows if you will? I don't know.
There it is.
All right, my number 41 and the last one of the day is Small World.
Hey!
One that I love and have loved since the get-go. I've got most everything for this. Not everything, but in this game, you've got this board, and the board is different size depending on how many different players you have, because you want to have this small world depending on how many people you have.
Mm-hmm.
So in this, you're going to start out putting your tiles, and you'll put them out on the board, and basically you're just like, you're combating for these different spaces. It's an area control kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the coolest thing is you're drafting, you've got this power and you have this race tile that get put together. You're shuffling them all up and then they come out in whatever. You might have you know, let me look at one of these that are on here. I can't look at it. You might have Ratmen that are also really good in the hills or something like that. You're going to have both those races and the, there we go, and the powers matched up, and then at some point, you're going to go with those for a few rounds, and at some point you'll go into decline, and then you'll draft a new one and go into decline again. And whoever has the most money at the end of the game, money is hidden in this game, so you don't really know, but you have a good idea.
Yeah.
I just really like this game. It's an attacky game, but it also doesn't really feel that attacky, I guess. Like, I mean, I guess it does, but I guess it also feels kind of lighthearted because everybody's going to be losing tiles.
Everyone's going to, yeah.
Yeah, but
people could get their feelings hurt, though.
Yeah, the mechanics in this game are really simple. I don't know, honestly, I don't quite know why I still love this game so much. It seems like one of those that it would have died out over time. My love for this would have died out, but it just hasn't. I still really enjoy this. I play this one on the app a lot. My wife and I enjoy playing this even 2-player. I enjoy a higher player count better, but even at 2, I think it's a lot of fun because the board is smaller. Just a really fun game. That is Small World. I also love the look of this game. It's beautiful.
So that came out in 2009. Did you say it was ranked 298 overall?
I did not.
Okay. And when it came out, it was like one of my favorites, like for a long time.
Yeah.
Like this was up there with like Catan that I was playing and Puerto Rico and some of those games. So I think the replayability is through the roof in this game, though. Yeah. Because of all the different combinations that can come out, and then the area control to me just doesn't really get old because you're fighting back and forth, and it's not the same old, same old. So it's good. Like I
have thought this one would have fallen for me at some point, and it just hasn't. And it could, maybe it's because my wife does love this one too. I don't know. That definitely factors in.
It's fallen for me just because I've found other area control games that I like better. You know what I mean? Right. Like Blood Rage, I like a lot better, so I just rather play Blood Rage, and so it's kind of fallen because of that. But
yep. Anyway. That is true. But that is our 50 through 41 board games of all time. John, why don't you tell people how they can get in touch with us?
All right. So if you have been watching the video, we do have a podcast. So I want to say that first of all, which you can listen to on Google Play, Stitcher, Apple Podcast, everything. Just search MeepleTown, all one word, and you'll be able to find that if you want to check us out on that. We're at MeepleTown Games on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you'd like to support us, we're patreon.com/MeepleTown. And we're Board Game Geek Guild 3407.
Thanks for coming down to MeepleTown.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks to our Patreon supporters for making content like this possible. If you would like to become a Patreon supporter, go to patreon.com/MeepleTown. To follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, find us at MeepleTown Games. Finally, to connect with us and other residents of MeepleTown, you can join Guild 3407 at BoardGameGeek.com. Until next time, thanks for coming down to MeepleTown.